We found you.
William, my sweet boy. I would give anything for us to be together again.
Our grandfather believed the devil would return if anyone read from the Book of the Dead.
Cool down. The whole family can be reunited.
Aloha. This is Trinidad the Islandman, your Islandman, coming to you live once again from beautiful Hawaii here on the island of Oahu, bringing you, yes you, the best movie reviews on the entire island of Oahu. And yes, this is Trinidad the Islandman, your Islandman. And last night, opening night of the new movie, Evil Dead Burn, I went and I saw it. And, well, remember our rating scale. Shaka thumbs up. It's good to see. I recommend it. Shaka thumbs down. It's junk. I don't recommend it. And for Evil Dead Burn, produced by Sam Rami, the original creator of the original trilogy of Evil Dead, and the TV show Ash vs. the Evil Dead, produced by Bruce Campbell and Robert Tappet, all of which were hands-on in the making of the original trilogy. But, however, this movie is directed by Sam Vanchek, some French director, I believe, and written by well, it was written by co-written by somebody else. And, well, overall, it is a Shaka thumbs down. I'm a big fan of the Evil Dead trilogy, the TV show Ash vs. the Evil Dead. You know, even the original Evil Dead, all of which, you know, had the genius of Sam Rami behind it. And of course they had a wonderful actor, Bruce Campbell, doing all the starring role, except for, I believe, that very, very first movie. But in this one, you know, none of those guys really had much effect on this movie. They are producers, basically, you know, since they were in the originals and they, you know, created the originals. Basically, they're not having much, they're not doing it, they're pretty hands-off with this, and you can tell in this movie. This movie fails to deliver the horror and the comedy that Sam Rami has been known for many, many years. And without that balance, the Evil Dead falls very flat. And this Evil Dead Burn is just another example, just like the previous one 2 years ago with the Freddy Alvarez. That had a little bit more of a production value. But this one, however, does have a little bit more of a cohesive story, much more in tune with the traditional Evil Dead story, and has some ties to Ash versus the Evil Dead, the TV show. In this one, it involves the family of the scientist, the explorer who found the Necronomicon, who in the very original movies tape recorded his findings, which unfortunately are read or played out loud, and thus unleashes the Deadites back upon the world. In this one, it is his family. He had left his family to find a way to stop this evil. It is likely that that's where he ended his life, there in the cabin in the woods that Bruce Campbell and his friends had found his recording. But he had other copies of his work and his recordings back at his house that he left with his family. And upon one of the older sons' death, they go ahead and find all this stuff and unfortunately some of the words are spoken aloud. It's not clear if this is related to the Freddy Alvarez. However, we do find that one of the Deadites do exist already, and thus find the older son and kill him, basically inhabiting his body to infiltrate the family, basically, and find this weapon of power, this dagger of Ankara, which the professor had found all these years ago, which he said that can stop the Deadites once and for all. Again, very much like Ash and the Evil Dead versus the Evil Dead, that Showtime show that was on maybe 3 years ago before the pandemic. Excellent show. Really outstanding work on that show. But again, this movie, Ash and the Evil Dead, Shaka thumbs down. Although the story is cohesive like that, none of the actors, they're not really given much to work with. One of them is a wife of the abusive, now deceased older son. The rest of the family looks down on her, and it thus becomes her task to put the family down when they're taken over by Deadites. And, you know, she does this by finding that dagger. Really not too much to like about this movie. Again, it does seem to be on a very, very slick back budget, all taking place very much like the first one in one place in the cabin or in this house out in the forest. You know, the kills aren't really all that spectacular either. And for some reason, the director and the co-writer of this movie had made some decision that's like, oh, this is why we're going to call it Burn, because the main Deadite has the ability to, like, he's in flames, or he can, like, boil, you know, he can raise the temperatures of certain things. Like, he raises the temperature in the house, messing with the furnace. He boils one person alive in a lake, and you see him kind of walking around on fire in one of the in the ending scenes. Doesn't make a lot of sense, really. Nothing that we had seen really before, other than just a way to make this movie stand out with the title of Evil Dead Burn. If you're a big fan of Evil Dead, I really don't think this is going to kick off anything, unfortunately. I was hoping it would. As much as I didn't like the Freddy Alvarez one, again, the production value was much higher. And the mother, the one who was possessed by the Deadites, was an extremely interesting character. Unfortunately, none of the other characters were in that movie. And I think it should have centered on her, very much like a Bruce Campbell character, fighting it off and taking it to the Deadites in the end. But they failed to do that in that Freddy Alvarez movie. In this one, you know, two of the main female characters, not related to the family, just married into the family, could have potentially been main characters. One is the main character, the husband or the wife of the husband that's murdered at the beginning by a Deadite and taken over for the third act fight scene. But they failed to really give her any meat or anything substantial for her to break out of. It is the younger son's wife that seems to have more of an interesting possibility in this movie. However, she's killed very quickly and becomes one of the many other Deadites that they have to fight during the movie. So yeah, I can't really say too much more about this. Again, I was looking forward to this. I am a fan of the Evil Dead, but I think unless they can get somebody, unless Sam Rami himself comes back to direct this, I was kind of hoping Bruce Campbell would direct one of these, because I mean, I'm sure he would do Evil Dead proud. Sure, he doesn't want to star in these kind of movies anymore, but you know, he could direct, and I think he could get the feel more appropriate than this French director could have, because even Freddy Alvarez got more of a connection to the storyline than this guy did. So I just don't know. If you really want to see it, just wait and see it on streaming. That's the best way to do it. I wouldn't see it at the movie theater. It's really not worth it. Not when there's, if you're into the horror, see Back Rooms again, or Obsession again, I guess. You know, there's just, it's just kind of, although it's horror, it's just not, it doesn't move the needle, unfortunately. And I think overall, you'll be bored with this movie if you see it in the theater. All right. I'm sorry about that. Shaka thumbs down for Evil Dead Burn. I was really hoping it would be much better. Again, I was more intrigued with the Freddy Alvarez one, and the mother character. Again, it had a higher production value. This is very cheap and very back to the bare bones, which could have worked, but you know, they needed a better director who understood the story a little bit better, and obviously a better writer. All of which, if you know, those three producers would have given some more input. But I mean, it's nice that they're credited as producers, but it's obvious they didn't have any effect or influence, or were possibly even asked to maybe punch up the script and story. All right, mahalo and aloha.